Time is tough. But every cloud has a silver lining. Together, we need to develop a positive vision to address challenges and difficulties our businesses face.
In order to face the current and future challenges of this industry, we have to work together. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Challenges for Caterers. Today will be our last show before the Christmas break. And today we're going to talk about catering staff training and development. Training new staff into our industry and also training existing employees for better development to give better services to our customers. And today our guest, I have on my right again, Mr. Pasha Kondokar. I do not need to introduce him to you. All of you know who he is. And on my far right, I have Mr. Eric N. O'Snell, a hotel manager, chairman of a hotel. Sorry, I couldn't read the exact writing there. Hertfordshire Hotel?
Hertfordshire Hotel.
Hertfordshire Hotel. And on my left, I had Jamal Ahmed, director of Hamlet's Training Center, training staff. So without further ado, I'd like to start our show. As I said, training is crucial for, everywhere I go, I hear people talking about the shortage of staff in our industry. So how can we train new staff to bring into our industry, especially in the kitchen as chefs and cooks? So that's what I'd like to start off, and then we'll move on the second segment to talk about training our existing staff for better services. So Pasha Bhai, first, again, I'd like to come to you first. So I've seen you giving speeches in the BCA Awards about the staff shortages, and you're always talking about the issue. Why can't you train existing people that we have in the United Kingdom? Especially last week, I did a show on women entrepreneurs. I mean, lots of our female sisters are staying at home, being housewives. Why can't we bring them into the industry?
It's very good things you said, very good things. Because one of our vice president was on Sky TV last week, and one of the so-called career training college owners said that our women doesn't work. And I don't think there will be any problem from Ofcom as well. If I mention his name, is Pat Chapman, who said that our women don't work. The industry can be fulfilled by these women entrepreneurs or women workers. So Salim Bhai, thank you very much for asking me this question, because many people are asking what is fact is. Definitely, training is the most important thing, which in our industry we can see is a lack of training, absence. As the owner of the restaurants, as the owner of a restaurant chain, I used to have a restaurant chain, and as a BCA president, and no doubt I will tell this, although it is my fault or our fault, but definitely there is no training system or there is no training facilities in our business at all, which could solve a lot of our problem. I understand this.
But there is training. On my left, I got Jamal Ahmed, the director of Hamlet's Training Center. You're involved in training in the catering industry? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I just started.
Okay, please.
I just started. I'm not saying there is no training facilities. I'm saying that absence of the training in our outlet.
As an industry, we do not train.
We don't train.
Okay.
If you go to an outlet, you will see there's a lack of trainings. Why you see the staff behavior, the service style, the old-fashioned.
But is that true, Safasha? Because if I remember correctly, when we had our people coming from Bangladesh, and they started as a kitchen porter, and then they become a tandoori chef.
Even
is that not training?
No. In a kitchen, there is a training you need. Some of them are compulsory. You cannot avoid it. Yeah. There is some training in the kitchen, but in the front.
But I used to work in the front when I was 16, sorry to say again, and I got some training how to.
Yeah, how to serve customer. This is not a training. Nowadays, you need a health and hygienic trainings, front office management training, well-behaved trainings, many things, online trainings, food ordering, dealing with the customers.
So basically you're saying it doesn't exist in our industry. So
not at all, not at all.
But you are president of BCA.
Yeah.
So what are you doing about it?
First of all, last 10 years before, we launched a college called the London School of Curry.
London School of Curry, is it still running?
we can get the fund from the Labour government was funding us, that soon the government changed, they cut the fund and it's disappeared. I'm not saying that my college would have solved the problem, but at least. And before you move from me, I'll say the women, the ladies, our mums, they do not mind. I mean, millions of housewives in this country don't work. You don't talk about them. Why you talk about the British Bangladeshi community? What's the problem with British Bangladeshi community women if they don't work?
But I would like to bring you attention to a survey which was published, I think, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
During this recent recession,
yeah.
the quality of life for the Bangladeshis and the Pakistanis in this country has improved. That's due to a lot of Bengali women now are
working outside.
So if you go to our next generation, so maybe our first generation won't work and they were housewives.
They're
next generation,
skilled.
People who are similar to my age,
even though
they are
working there, they are highly skilled people.
But they don't they're not coming to your industry.
Why they should come from work from 6 o'clock to 1 o'clock morning? They got kids to look after. They got family to run. They got another. They could work in a Barclays Bank, or they could work in a Tesco's. That would be a better job.
Before I go to Jamal Ahmed, Eric, you're a manager of a successful hotel.
Yep.
So how do you train your staff, either in the front or the back, and how do you deal with this, tackle this issue?
We try to do a lot of training in this. Of course, we got the luck of indeed the catering colleges in this country, but indeed there are more. Indeed, I was thinking about it this morning. Indeed, if we're training a chef, indeed he will be French trained. So just the steaks, the normal.
So your
dishes.
restaurant is a French.
Yeah, French Italian style. So hopefully they will have a lot of background knowledge already from the colleges.
And there is catering colleges available in the UK,
yes,
giving
indeed.
this training.
Yes,
So
certainly.
There's no catering college available for Indian chef or
There
our
is
cuisine?
some, very small.
There is some.
There is
Sorry.
No. But in-house, indeed, we do a lot on training. There's a lot of online training. Indeed, the service of our staff, being at front of house, in reception, or in the restaurants, or housekeepers. Basically, they're all getting trained indoors as well. So, getting to the standards we actually would like to achieve.
Great. So you have no issues with staff shortages.
There are still indeed shortages of because indeed chefs in I think in every restaurant, hotel,
exactly.
there is a shortage of it. There is
Severe
probably
issues.
still, and that's probably something. What I'm from Holland myself, and when I came to this country 20 years ago, it was really, oh, I needed someone in the restaurant. Oh yeah, I don't have a job, so let's apply. Yeah. That was the idea behind it at that time. Lucky enough, we moved on for that, but it's still difficult of getting indeed.
You've got the right tie.
Yes, indeed.
Jamal Bhai,
Yeah.
so how long, when was Hamlet's Training Center established?
It was established in 2011.
2011. And you're predominantly training which sector of people?
So basically we are training, one of the major sector is hospitality and catering, and our main slogan is get the training, get the skills and get the job, and which was really set up in the time when there was an economic downturn.
Right.
So I myself actually resigned from one of my secure job, and I really wanted to do something for the community to make things happen.
Right.
So this is the one of the major, but before I talk, I would like to thank you very much for inviting me in this show.
Oh, you're welcome.
And this is
I didn't
what
invite you, I'm just a host.
No, of course. So of course I must invite. Thanks Pasha Bhai, because your producer called me. But the reason I'm saying this is one of the fantastic show because the challenges for the caterers, because we got Pasha Bhai on the right because he has been campaigning a lot. But in today's topic is really very fantastic about training. If we look back about training perspective, according to the Food Safety Act 1990, it is the responsibility of the employer and responsibility of the employee to be trained, and before they start handling food they must be trained. And you told me at the very beginning you started working in the catering. So in here one thing I can say, we all knew safer food, better business. If we want to have a very good business, we have to have very good staff, and training needs knowledge, and knowledge needs to be implemented.
So are you training chefs for our restaurants?
That's
what I
very
want to
good
know.
question. For me, we do not train chef, but we provide statutory training, like for example, food safety and catering training to the food handlers, training
So
to the
basically you're training for
supervisors.
hygiene?
Yeah, food hygiene
Is
and
that
food
it?
safety.
So no chef's training.
We do not provide chef training.
Do you train for the front of the house, like waiters and
Yeah, we do provide training for the waiters, caterers, kitchen worker, all
so
of
why
them.
aren't you expanding into chefs? Because that's our major skill shortage.
Probably this could be done, because this is only one thing we need to get accreditation from the awarding body, and we need, if it is a huge demand, we can do this, Shalimba. It's not a problem
Of
at all.
course, it's a huge demand. Everywhere I go, people talk about chefs. I mean, I was watching on Sky TV last week, as you mentioned, and 2 restaurants are closing down every week. Indian restaurants or Bangladeshi British curry restaurants closing down every week, lack of chefs. And you are saying that, is there a demand? Of course there is demand. There's a huge demand.
Obviously, Salimba, if it is in the national level, very honestly, as a private provider, I can contribute. Recently, we agreed with BCA with the great help of Pasha Bhai. Obviously, probably if BCA, a big organization like he mentioned about a curry school or college, something, a national umbrella body, something like that, like an awarding body, then we can contribute more rather than individually contributing.
I was in the British Curry was last week,
Yeah.
and I think it was in Amale said he's opening a college or something, training chef college or something like that. Is that the only one, or is there any more?
No. Training. Salim bhai, there is 2 things, I think. What at the moment, there's hundreds of training colleges existed.
Yeah.
Who doesn't train only chefs?
Yeah.
They train the caterers, how to run an industry. There is safety, health, promotions, marketings, right? Customer management. But specifically what you're talking about, this is a cooking skill we need to develop.
Exactly. That's the
Country,
main shortage we
in
have.
this country, we haven't got a proper college. In my knowledge, I can say that they are the college who can supply the demand of this industry. There is some small original Indian, they run some of the colleges.
Well, like Pasha Bhai, they can do also apprenticeship through BCA. Probably, the big colleges, they run apprenticeship in hospitality and catering. Then probably if our industry wants more entrepreneurs, what is called apprentices, they can earn and learn. They can go to college and also work in the restaurant.
Yeah. So on that, I mean, you're training basically for food hygiene, and everybody who's working in the restaurants or catering industry is exposed to food. So is training for food hygiene is crucial for every single person working in the
It's a
restaurants.
legal requirement.
It's a legal requirement.
Illegal requirement, according
So
to the
if
Food
you
Safety
do
Act.
not have food hygiene certificate, you cannot
You
work.
can't
in the-
work, no, you can't.
You've got the first 6 months, you basically you can work without, but you need the training
And
in
so
that
Is
time,
that
and
is
after
that
6
that's for
months.
everybody?
everything
Well,
is-
the law said they may not have a level 2 or level 3 certificate, but law said you have to be trained first before you start working. It could be
But I think,
training
Jamal
from-
bhai, you need at least 1 or 2 in the kitchen who is level 2 certified.
So why
As
is
Subai.
it crucial to train? Is it only it's a legal requirement? Why is it a legal requirement?
Oh, it's health and safety. Okay, we
So
sometimes think quite lightly on health and safety. Oh, something health and safety like, but it is crucial because you need a safe environment to work in, and of course the guest needs a safe product to work with as well. So yes, you need to know everyone needs to know the basics, but indeed someone in charge
let me
needs
add
a level
something.
2 or level 3.
Yeah, as you mentioned about legal requirement, do you know in this country every year about 2 million people suffer from food intolerance, food allergy. About 10 people die every year due to food-related
2 million
allergies.
suffer from
2 million, yeah.
2 million people.
And that's why the law
Out of
changed
65
now.
million people in this country,
Yeah.
roughly about
And
65
the
million
recent
we
law
got.
has changed for the allergy because mainly
And,
for this.
and
Correct.
just as Pasha Bhai mentioned about, you said why it's low. So if we look at the regulation 2014, which came up, which became mandatory from 13 December 2014, every caterers, food handlers must have to ask to their customer about specific 14 food allergens. Whether, for example, if we cook a chicken tikka masala or chicken kurma, so it's our responsibility to ask our customer whether they are allergic with any particular food
I would
ingredients.
like to bring that case, touch on that for a minute. It's crucial that everybody who handles food understand the foods. Food, like Jamal Bhai said, 2 million people suffer from allergic reaction
Yeah.
from eating out every year. And I'll have to bring a personal case to it. We were actually wrongfully convicted about 2 years ago up in North, one of our depots who served peanut powder, and the customer cooked it in either a dish, which was, I think, chicken tikka masala, and served it saying that it's peanut free when it was peanut. And we were wrongfully convicted. Then we appealed, and our conviction was squashed, and we've got conversation. But there's a recent case, I'm not going to mention any name, a recent case somewhere in New York or near York, where somebody has died. And the gentleman in concern is in great trouble because the supplier he's bought the product from has supplied the product, did not mention on the box exactly what the product is, and a customer has died from eating that product. And he's now being taken to court, and I think the courts are trying to charge him for manslaughter. Now, this gentleman may end up in prison. So all of us
I think he was
own
charged
restaurants.
I think he's already
He's
sentenced.
charged. He's in
already
the prison.
sentenced.
Yeah.
I'm
Charged.
I don't know the full of the case, but I have met him. So all of us who own restaurants, it's crucial that we understand the basic food hygiene, the food laws, and the recent laws which came in December 2014 about allergens. Every restaurant where you have a dish, you must mention all the allergens, what's inside these dishes, if it's got any nuts or whatever is in it. So this topic today, although the discussion may not be lively, but it's very important. You only understand once you're in trouble, like our friend up north, that how important this issue is. So I want everybody to understand, and there are help available. Apparently you can go into some websites and get yourself trained. Pasha Bhai, are you helping your members with this?
Of course.
What are you doing about it?
We are writing down, so we are talking to the local council through our regionals, especially after the 13th September. Well, the allergics, mainly, we are not talking to the restaurants chefs only, we are talking to the owners. Salim Bhai, if you can look what you said, that he hasn't had any clue what he is using, why he should use this sort of product? He should use a product got ingredients in it. Yeah? You cannot buy cheaper product. You cannot buy product from somewhere is over date or expired dated or hasn't got any ingredients, write it down. So you don't know, are you using peanut or you using an almond nut? So you must buy the good products, a good supplier, a legitimate supplier. See, owner knows it. Chefs, even though in my premises, I have experienced my own experience, I took the order on EPOS, I write it down about his nut allergy, on red marks, I've done it, and I sent it to my kitchens, and I want to make sure that it's happening. I went down there and asked my chef, did you check the allergy sign over there? No, Bhai Sahib, I did not check it. So that means you have to make sure it is a life and death things with people. So it has to be, I think, owner got to be trained as well.
So Pasha Bhai brings a very important point. The owner needs to be trained because at the end of the day, he's the one who's going to go in jail.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we go into this subject in more in-depth discussion of how we can save ourselves and save our customers and bring our industry up from where it is today. See you in a minute.
Watch Challenges for Caterers, a talk show with Shalim Hussain MBE.